Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the Family EV podcast. Consecutively, the most regular run we've had so far, every week for 3 weeks. 3 weeks? I think it's 3 weeks. I am your regular EV dad, John, and as ever, live from Chicagoland is my co-partner on these things, Joe from JKEV. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Surviving, so bearing up under the strain, under the strain. These are interesting times.
I didn't get the dress code memo this week.
Yeah. So this is important, Joe. If you're watching Sesame Street this week, the letter of the day is H for hypocrisy. And this is what I look like when I'm trying to be a good parent and get my kid into Catholic school, a faith I have nothing but existential dread and hatred for. Yeah, it's a tough one, but the Catholic faith has somewhat of a monopoly on good schools where I live. And so today, I was playing the role of dutiful father looking for somewhere suitable. My kid has to be baptized into the Catholic faith within the first 2 years of her attendance. This troubles me. And by the way, I'm not saying there aren't such things as good Catholics. There are, in fact. London's what's the word I'm looking for? Grandma who isn't her grandma. She's her grandma's best friend because her grandma's passed over here. Is Catholic and I would say, hand on heart, a fantastic poster child for the Catholic faith, and also she's done in the kindness that she has shown to others and the community. Unfortunately, I went to an all-boys private school, and I am familiar with the bad side of the faith. But yes. Long answer to a short question, and it should have been funnier than that. I'll be honest with you, Joe, but I'm struggling on this one. Real life is a real pain in the ass sometimes. Yeah, if I want my kid to do well, she has to. Yeah. So anyway, what the church teaches, I will do my best to undo. Let's be clear. Anyway, what a fantastic way to start a podcast all about cars, Joe, by wandering to faith. I mean, this is the week of Joe Rogan self-censoring as well. We should let's use some N-words, Joe, like Nero.
Nissan.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. In other new hypocrisy news, John stands with Joe Rogan because John wants to do Joe Rogan's show in April. Not the podcast, would love to, but his comedy show at Vulcan Gas Company on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Anyway, we shall see. We've got the whole of March to get to before that's even a thing. Let's hope he doesn't get cancelled before then. Should we dip into the elements of electric vehicle news that we found interesting this week?
There wasn't much out there, but yes, let's we can.
It has been a quiet week. I mean, there's been lots of chatter, but not much in the way of actual news. Although few things caught my eye. I think we've talked about this on the podcast. In fact, I don't think we even talked about it in person. Should we touch on the Ford Mustang? I'm sorry, I'm always going to confuse these two. The Subaru Solterra, which I know aerodynamics do create a certain thing, but doesn't that just look a little bit Mustangy? Just a little bit Mustangy.
What gives it away? All the plastic cladding all over the wheel wells.
The plastic, the fascia, the shape of the shape of the non-grill grill. Even the oval shape to it. I mean, it is. Let's be clear. This doesn't look like a Subaru. I know it's a partnership with Toyota, but Subarus are blue with gold wheels in my mind. Colin McRae. It's not real if Colin McRae's not driving it. I know Colin McRae's not driving anymore. People, we don't need that in the comments. Not needed. Colin McRae was the man when I was a young boy. We always had to drive like him. None of us were going to get stuck in traffic. We were going to go cross country like McRae. But it's interesting, you know. They're starting reservations today. Are you tempted?
I am not. Just in general, I'm not a fan of the reservation process that all of these dealers are using to get free cash out of everyone. But furthermore, I just don't think the 220-mile range is pushing the EV industry further forward. Although every EV, at least they have an EV to sell now for the Subaru and Toyota faithful to go for.
Yeah, there's good in that. It's you know, choice is a good thing, and it will move things forward. This is a direction of travel where after placing a reservation, customers will agree final orders, pricing, and availability, financing between April and May, with subject to a pricing announcement with deliveries in the summer. So that is across all 50 states. So this is quicker than we were expecting, I think. I don't think anybody thought development was moving that fast. Clearly, Toyota has been working on this for a while. Well, I mean, this is all part of Toyota's platform, you know, their MEB type platform. So this is the first iteration. I'm intrigued to see how they're going to expand this into the other brands and sizes. I think, you know, a lot of people are disappointed that there isn't a Sienna minivan, if anything else. I mean, you look at the ID Buzz and you have to think Toyota, someone's coming for your minivan market. But I mean, it just look a bit like it's like a Ford Mustang, but they shrunk the roofline in a little bit, as you know, it's not quite as upright. But
I thought it looks like they stepped on a RAV4.
You know what it says? It is right between the two. That's what it is. It is right between the two. Let's change topic completely. You mentioned this when you went to see the F-150 Lightning in person. You also mentioned at the time the E-Transit or Transit E. I always get it the wrong way around.
E-Transit, yeah.
Ford's delivered the first 300 of 10,000. I think that was.
Yep, and I think they're going to increase production as their plan. So they must have gotten more orders they anticipated. I'm not familiar with what the average daily mileage of a Transit is, so I'm not sure if the 125 miles is sufficient for most companies. Especially we don't know the cold weather range. So, but either way, it's good to get these vehicles out there. I'm looking forward to a much bigger battery version that can be converted into the motorhomes by Winnebago or all of those brands.
I mean, we're a long way from that. You know, the enemy of what we do is weight, and there is nothing heavier than a B camper. I think we're a good number of years away from any form of affordable long range. I mean, seriously, when you're carrying 50 gallons of water and a shower with you, you are. I mean, and not only that, but also, let's be clear. The center of gravity of these things is going to be severely compromised. These are so, you know, even if you put the battery in the bottom, like you're going to put it anywhere else, these are still slab-sided vehicles. So they unless you make the chassis out of I-beams, it's going to be a little bit. Back in the day, back when I was a young man in England, and I mean when I was a kid, my dad had a Land Rover Discovery. And these were very high rolling vehicles. We referred to it as a disco because literally it was. I have to imagine these things would be the same if you had them fully equipped. And they're not small batteries, you know, they're not big batteries, but they're not small batteries either. So, you know, I think it's going to be a while before they have a platform where they can do the camper vans. Not that we don't want them. Oh, that would be, but affordabilities, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Volkswagen beats them to it with ID Buzz conversions.
I think they're going to be well, I mean, they announced the so there was, and I know they've done they're saying that the announced price of it's not been announced, but somewhere it slipped that the price of the 5-seater short wheelbase, this is the 4.7 meter version, was going to be 67,000 euros, which is $60,000 and change. but apparently that includes tax. So, but that's still a $55,000 car, minivan over here. $55,000 is a lot of money for a minivan, and that's the short wheelbase version. We're not going to get. We're only going to get the 5-meter version. For those of you playing at home, that's 1 foot's worth of distance, 30 centimeters. And they're saying that it will have up to 111 kilowatt battery pack in it, which makes sense given the fact this thing's going to have the aerodynamic qualities of a brick. We will see. Let's put it that way. We will see, but Mrs. Regular EV is excited by the ID buzz. Yeah. Which
so is the K of JKEV over here.
Yeah. This is we will see. We do this every week, but I'm doing my tax return right now, Joe.
Me too.
I've been putting my paperwork together. It looks like it's going to be a good year for tax returning for this household, which obviously means we overspent or we overpaid on taxes during the year. It is ridiculous. We'll have that conversation, but there you go. But I'm putting my tax credit in, so I got my $7,000 from the federal government coming back to me, which is very nice. And I can't help but think, Joe. Can't help but think. Am I going to get my tax rebate before I get an OTA update for my car?
Well, I think so, because my estimate is I'll get a tax refund in about 2 weeks after I file it. That would be March 1st, and Volkswagen has flat out said we're not even going to get one till end of March or April at this point. So
you do have to wonder, don't you? You do have to wonder. So my car, I got my car on the paperwork downstairs. Where did I leave it up here? Can't remember the exact date. I think I got mine on the 6th of April.
April 22nd.
Yeah, it's either the 6th or it was either that week or the week after. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look at when my wife was away, because that's when I got it. Fewer arguments. And we will see. Will we get an update? And the reason I mention this, Joe, is because I'm looking at the 2022 specs. And yeah, they're going to make them here. But, I mean, are we going to get are they just going to go straight to the version 3 software? Is the reason for the delay because they're going to bypass the 2 point?
That's the feeling that I have. The other question I have is it an OTA? Is it going to be an OTA update? I know for Ford, the way they've done it is anyone that wants the update first has to go to a dealer, and then it's in a couple of weeks, it becomes an OTA update for anyone else who chose not to go to a dealer. I know for me, I'll go to a dealer for an hour to get an update a couple of weeks early, then sit and wait a few more weeks just for it to be an OTA update.
Yeah.
Not sure how Volkswagen's doing this process, but
well, we all learn things from the various what's the word I'm looking for? Programs that other vendors have been executing. So, for instance, the Mustang is an example. And they actually spoke, and the Mustang guy spoke a while ago on a podcast I listened to. I can't remember whose it was now. And he explained that each update had updates for individual controllers and microcontrollers within it. And they had a process where they had to update all of those before they could start doing things. Now, we know that Volkswagen had this situation with ours. We were running, 2.6, I think is what it was. And
that's about right.
That was an update that had to be applied by the dealer before they were allowed out, so that they could get OTA updates. They also went and said that, the first OTA updates would have to be for security reasons. And I don't get this one completely because this is kind of my field. would have to be delivered by the 4G system and not via Wi-Fi. Why that's important? Well, I mean, I know why it's important, but that's not the most critical issue. So it's we'll see. And also what's going to be in it. I mean, you know, is this, I mean, I just have to assume we're waiting so long because it's going to be a big update. They already, one of my dealer friends told me that they'd already done a stop sale a little while ago, and then they restarted because these things were meant to have happened. Let's be honest, Joe, it's a cluster. It really is. And it's just
Well, and is the ID4 even completely updatable, or is it just basically going to be an infotainment update at that point?
No, they're meant to be able to do, you know, it was just the platform, because it's a platform, remember? That's the whole point of this. It was to compete with Tesla. And so it's meant to be a platform update. They've done it for the ID3, they've done the ID4. But you know, this whole thing about them having an app store in it, and you know, so we can take subscriptions for faster charging and things like that.
I've already gone down that road with Ford. I was telling you, Ford was saying how Tetris would be one of the games you could buy on your F-150. You know, my opinion is spend 80 grand on a pickup truck, throw in Tetris. You know.
Well, as somebody who makes his living from software, I disagree with you on that one.
That's like Porsche's famous for on a 911, a windscreen wiper costs $500 for a rear windscreen wiper.
Yeah, and don't worry, Joe, I'm not ignoring you. What I'm trying to do is get my phone to charge while we're talking. I have a... Is
that a DC fast charge for the phone?
Well, in its own way, kind of. So I have a, let me find it here. I have a Pixel 2 wireless charger, which will charge my phone up to 23 watts. But it was having a bit of a moment, a bit of a crisis, so I've just put it on my old wireless charger. And the reason why I'm not using the cable is because the cable's got a kink in it and it doesn't pass good current, but if I can get it working once on the wireless, it'll stay good for a while. So that's going to charge up. And that's why I'm wearing a shirt and tie, you see, because this was a twofer. So not only am I doing hypocrisy at the potential school for the kid today, but British John is performing at the San Jose Improv tonight, so I needed to put the outfit on anyway. So Mrs. Garside's had the benefit of me having my hair done and looking presentable for most of the day, which has got to be nice for her, because you know, normally she just has to see me in a shitty t-shirt and a hoodie. Yeah, we'll see where we go. Come on, Volkswagen, how hard can it be, to quote Mr. Clarkson? What else is going on? I tell you what else is going on, Joe. I got to see my first Nero Ioniq 5 this week. At close quarters. Was actually charging up. I'll put these on my Instagram. Down at, if I got to see a Lucid as well charging up, which is actually, oh, let me find the pictures. I know we can't share that. I said we wouldn't share pictures, and I won't break my own rules. But let me find the, so where are we? This was, it was, oh, I got to read this. There's so much glare on this thing. He pulled in at 59% state of charge, and he was charging to 80. We know this because that's what's on the Electrify America screen, if you can see this. And it was pulling 104 kilowatts at 59%. That's still pretty impressive. I mean, I expected it to be a little bit high, but also the battery might, you know, it might have just been tootling around or whatever. But it was an owner car. It was not, it was at where the place where the Lucid showrooms are down at Westfield Valley Fair. But it was actually a personal car, and we know that because it had a paper plate on it and it wasn't a dealer plate, so it was a real car. By the way, when these things are charging, and I hope there's video of it, maybe Brandon did one, when it's charging, the lights, the tail lights do a Knight Rider thing, and so they go out and back in like that. It's very cool. If you are a child of the 80s.
Oh, I'm a big fan of when Tesla started allowing people to make the outside noise, whatever they wanted. Right away, the Kit Car soundtrack came up for when people are using Summon.
I've heard it. No, I've heard that, and I was in Los Gatos the weekend, I think it was, and I heard the Knight Rider theme tune. I'm like, okay, fair enough, fair play to you. But no, I was down there. I had to. I was running errands with the kiddo and needed to get her lunch. Perfect situation. I went down to the chart, down to the. We'd been literally running around all day. What have we been doing? We've done all sorts of stuff. I've been down to Carmel and back. I didn't do a video. Crazy this. We did a little road trip. Didn't do a video because it was Daddy door today. We went to get barbecue down in Big Sur. It was nice just to get out of the house and really take the car for a bit of a stretch. And but we had to come back and then take her to the school and errands and stuff. And she was hungry, and I thought, you know what, I'll just go charge the car. I was down at 10%, and there's a Shake Shack there, and every kid's love can be bought with Shake Shack. Just no kids. I can't eat carbs right now. I'm trying to lose weight, and somebody, if I find out who, I will hunt you. I will go full Liam Neeson taking on you, who taught my child to dip her French fries in her milkshake. What is wrong with you freaks, you Wendy's sucking.
I was going to say Wendy's. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, anyway, we had good company. We had, I'll see if I show it briefly, Joe. We had, you can see that? Hold on. Do the whole thing. So we had 3 blue ID4s, a mixture of, and literally you had all of them. You had an ID, you had a first edition, a Pro, and a Pro S, and a baby blue Taycan. And then there was another white Pro ID4 on the other side, a Leaf, and a Lucid. So democracy, I guess, would be the thing on that one.
Did you say you ran into an Ioniq as well?
Oh, yeah. And then when we came back from getting the Shake Shack, we ran into an Ioniq. And so, hi, Jeremy. I believe you subscribed. He's going to let me borrow his car for an Inside Out review at some point. I just got to find the time to do it. But it has been the week we've been watching. Have you been looking at all that? We've seen loads of reviews this past week, and Kyle's been doing range tests and charging tests. I haven't actually had a chance to watch all of them. I've been reading some of the reviews on the EV6. Have you seen one? Have you played with one?
Speaking of that, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them at the Chicago Auto Show this weekend, so I'll get to compare them both a little closer. In pictures, I like the Ioniq more, but could be different in person. The one thing I want people to catch on to is Hyundai is very quick to advertise the unlimited 30-minute charges with the Ioniq 5. The EV6 does not come with that. I think it just has 1,000 kilowatt hours of charging, which for us is really just one road trip.
That's
so
20.
that's
Yes, that is. It is. Yeah, they're writing there's some strange things being written, and I'm not into. It says they're on the verge of an announcement or a partnership with EA or EVgo, but they haven't announced it. So it does seem. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the EV6 is doing in that regard, but
which is very surprising that it's the same, basically the same company, that the deal wouldn't have been made for both cars to come with the same charging plan, especially since the same battery, same motors, everything.
They've put some charging. Also, you've seen the Kia. I don't know if they did it on the thing, but someone pointed out the USB charger is built into the side of the seat.
I do like that. I have seen that. I like that a lot.
You don't like it?
And then the other thing was the EV6 is a little more future-proof. Everything is USB-C. Everything in the Ioniq is USB-A.
That is strange. That does seem that doesn't seem strange. It is. Yeah, I'm
You
not.
would think it'd just be the same components put in both cars for streamlining the build process.
I'm impressed. Let me just say, I'm very impressed. I look forward to spending some time with this Ioniq. I love the LED lights at the back, by the way, the projector lights.
Mhm.
Okay, I think those little square lights. I've seen a couple of them around town, and then this guy was charging. So, hi Jeremy, I look forward to borrowing your car at some point and having a play with it in anger. And Kia or Hyundai, if you want to. If you want to lend me one for next week when I'm going to Pasadena for the long weekend with the family, and you want to have a family road trip properly documented, then get in touch real quick because we're leaving on Thursday night, coming back Sunday. So it'd be great for you, Mrs. Rager would be blessed this with the ID4. It would be good for you. It would be very good for you. Still can't believe I'm doing a road trip with the wife in my car. Can you believe the ridiculous things that are ridiculous? Oh, let's talk about this. This was not on the thing. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just went full Valley girl. Do apologize to you and to all Valley girls for the comment. Don't cancel us. Don't cancel us. A better route planner with Bluetooth, with BLE is awesome. It's
Is this a recent update? I'm not familiar with this.
wow. You know what, Joe? I'm gonna break the rules and share a screen because it's worth it. Okay. Let me get the picture.
Well, before we dive into that, I had one more comment I wanted to make about the EV6. Wanted your opinion. The EV6 does not come with even a level 1 charger, let alone a level 2, or a lot of cars even come with the level 1 and level 2 charger with a little different plug. What's your thoughts on whether that's right? I think in the future, maybe it's okay, but I think anyone that's buying this car is going to need a way to charge it. They probably don't have a charger in their garage already.
Is that all of your answer? Because then I'm going to get my soapbox out. Just want to make sure you've answered.
Go for it.
I don't effing care. And here's why. I was in, I took London out, took the kid out on her bike down at the college down the road here. They got a nice walk through the parks and she can go on her bike with, I call them stabilizers. What do you call it? Training wheels, with training wheels. Okay. And that's become part of our little routine, and it's great. I get a 1.5 mile walk in at lunch, and she gets to cycle and da 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 da. Well, we were down there. There's a charge point level 2 charger down there, and this Tesla Model Y turns up with 2 people in it of a what am I called? What do you call white people? I've forgotten the name now. What are we called? Anyway, they weren't like me or you, Joe. Okay, they were from somewhere else originally in their ancestry and ethnicity. They were struggling. They were trying to unplug the charge point thing, and of course, as you know, it won't let you pull that out until you've done the app. So, being an ambassador for electric vehicles, I said, "Hey, can I help you?" And I told them through the apps. We had a whole conversation about, and by the way, the reason I mentioned there it is because one understood some of what I was saying and the other one understood the other part. And so literally I would say something to one and they would translate, and they'd say something else and they would translate that back. So between the 3 of us, we had a functional conversation. That is the only reason why I mentioned this. And they had bought a brand new Tesla. They literally had it a day and a half. Their battery was at 74%. That's how little they'd used it since picking it up. And I had to give them the whole don't charge above 80% spiel, the usual stuff, right? And they're asking, well, how quickly does it charge? And I actually said, you need to, and I shared Tom Malogi's channel with them as they just learn about level 1, 2, and 3. That's what you need to do. They had no charging infrastructure at home. and this kid was going to college, and they live a handful of miles away. They live up in the hills with me, and they bought the kid this Tesla to go to school. If you're listening to audio podcast, that was the sound of silence where John goes, what the... Anyway, whatever. So I don't care, Joe. And the reason I say I don't care is because we can do all the education we want. Very few people use the granny cable, right? The level 1 charger. Also, with the exception of Tesla and Polestar, I don't think anyone else includes the level 2 or level 2 capable charger, do they?
Ford, and so Ford, Tesla, Porsche. Who else am I missing? I think the Nissan Leaf charger is level 2.
Is it? You sure?
Pretty sure. Okay. Or maybe it's level 1 by default, and you can pay. It's an option box you can check to get the one that's dual levels. Yeah, I mean, I remember when the ID4 came out, a lot of people on Inside EVs on that podcast were outraged that it was one of the few electric cars that came out with a level 1 exclusive plug.
My point is, Joe, I don't care. My level 1 charger has been sat in the garage in its bag, third shelf up next to the garage door since the day it came here, because I have a Tesla charger. I have a Tesla travel charger with a 50 amp, 30 amp. I've got the whole bag of adapters in there. There's an entire video about them. And I have my Tesla tap, and that does me well. And that's because I did the research. And I can only hope other people are going to do the research. And if they don't do the research, it sounds horrible, Joe. I've become an even more horrible intellectual bigot than I used to be. And it's all because of the COVID thing. At this point, if you're not willing to do the research, I'm willing to let you hang you out to dry.
Well, that's kind of that actually is a good point. When I did my 20,000 mile review last week, that was one of the things I highlighted, is that to you and me going on a road trip, it doesn't matter really what car we're taking. We're going to use a better route planner and chart it out and plan our trip. We don't just get in the car and push go for, typically. But for one of the flaws of most electric vehicles out there, including the new EV6 and Ioniq 5, is if you go in and say, go from here to Vegas, in the ID4, it says it's not, in mine, it always says it's not even possible. It says there's no chargers on that route, which is false. And really outside of the Mach-E, I think the Polestar, and of course the Tesla vehicles, the route planning is pretty poor. And I think that manufacturers need to do a better job, because the average consumer that's going to maybe went into the dealership to buy a Tiguan and walked away with an ID4 without educating themselves could be in a lot of trouble if they don't know how to route plan properly.
I could not agree with you more on that. And by the way, I read a number of comments on VWI on VWID Talk and places where they're saying that they've got one of the issues coming back is people have been buying these gently used ID4s, and they're not getting the EA, the Electrify America 3-year charging, because that doesn't transfer. And they're like, well, it's new, it's nearly new, it's da-da-da-da-da. Well, it turns out there's quite a few people who bought the shiny objects and didn't realize how they worked. So I'm sorry. And if you can spend $50,000 without doing any research, how the hell did you come to make $50,000?
I definitely agree with you there.
I work too hard, Joe, to deal with stupid. Let me talk to you though, for our audience, people, for the people that do care, for those people that want to join the 1%.
The two people.
Both our listeners. Let me share this. I got to change screens, because if I share from my other screen, you won't be able to see anything. Share screen. Here we go. So I'm going to zoom in. Here's my regular screen, but down here is a better route planner, and it is using There's no EV Notify. Now, don't get me wrong, EV Notify is great, and there's a role for it, and I'll come back to that in a minute because I hope to be able to bring these things together. But when I was heading south, so you'll see here, I left the house with 100%. It was actually a little bit of a road trip because I was going to get in with 50 and I wanted to turn around, and I wasn't planning. I was going to charge when I got close to home or just come home, seeing how the day went. But you will see, it's everything you expect, but it works. And I will very quickly.
So is this a recent update to a better route planner?
Yeah, they made an update I'm going to say like a couple of months ago. And then
this is a part of the subscription plan, right?
I'm not sure how it is. I've had the premium because I support what they do, and it's great. I support it anyway. So I can't tell you where the line is, and I'm not sponsored, and yada yada yada. Oh, I've got caps lock on. Da, da. Well done, John. 2 things. I'm only doing this so you can see so for those at home that want to try this can order, because I unfortunately, and this kicks, this was a bit of a, so this here is the one which I'm using. Okay. And don't get me wrong, this is a nasty Chinese looking thing, but there's a reason for it. It has to, the reason is it's uses BLE4. Okay, that's Bluetooth low power. I am aware people think I'm a hypocrite. Yes, I do. I was using the MX, which I probably also bought from Amazon. I was using, the MX, the green ODB. Oh, she's downstairs. I was using this. Unfortunately, this isn't compatible. So let me see if there should be I'm sure a Better Route Planner has a page on this. A Better Route Planner.
So what other uses does this device provide?
Well, let's get into this. This is where it gets awesome. Oh, here we go. So, home. Where are you? They've talked about it, but bottom line is, it can now talk. I'll stop sharing. It now talks directly to the car. With EV Notify, you had to have the EV Notify app running, and that then supplied data to ODB in the back to a Better Route Planner. The problem with that is that they had to be synchronized, and it sent quite a lot of traffic. The traffic wasn't the issue, but they could fall out of sync relatively easy. You had one app providing data to another app, which is a web-based app with a Android interface. And it didn't work on iPhones. Now, and given what a Better Route Planner is doing with Android for automotive in the Polestar and others, this is a Tesla experience. I literally just said, go there. It could instantly read what was going on in the car in terms of, the total battery, real-time consumption, got the 10-minute, 10-minute variables in it. And it was awesome. In real time, I can see exactly what's going on. Now, here's where it gets really cool. And you can't see it in that picture because I didn't do it on the second time. On the way back, I had it running through Android Auto. I actually had, so I had the Better Route Planner working. And bottom right, I had the number of miles and the battery percentage in real time displayed on there. It is everything you want, and you can navigate. You just press the button, navigate to XYZ. The only thing that's missing is ways is the police. Let's be clear about this: is the traffic management and the police. So, will I be running both on the road trip? Yeah. When I go down with the wife, because I'm going to run, I'm not going to tell Mrs. Garside exactly how hard we're running, because she would freak out if we do the 1%, 2% that you and I like doing. But we will be doing it. And I looked at one of the things, and I can't say for sure that this is what's happening, but as I now log in, I'll share my screen with you. Oh, it's saying it actually, in fact, the numbers have changed again. It actually said that the numbers had actually gone down. My charging times had decreased based off what, because it's recording a baseline. So anyway, we will see. I'm looking forward to going to Pasadena, Joe. Oh, speaking of Pasadena, let's see if I can pull it up. You're not going to believe what's arrived, a few weeks after we leave. There's an Electrify America in Pasadena. It wasn't there before. I've just gone to the wrong thing. I've just gone to San Diego in my...
Where is this in relation to that parking garage that we were at for a couple of days?
Funny you should mention that. Nowhere near. So, but not that far away. So, from where we were, from our hotel, you would go as far again. I'll tell you what, I'll share the screen, and it makes sense. So if you were watching when Joe and I, did you cover in any of your videos the infrastructure that we were playing with there as well as the car?
I believe in the opening video, I gave a quick rundown or I think I had Kyle in there, and he was talking about the Tesla installed all the chargers, pays for the electricity for the non-Tesla chargers as well, etc.
So if I'm sharing my screen now so people can see. So this is what Joe's talking. This is what we're talking about. This is the Morengo charging plaza, which is on the top of a multi-story car park. And I'm just trying to find a good picture. Ironically, it's got a Tesla, but whatever. We'll explain that in a few seconds. So there are 12. Was it? I think it's 12. Ironically, Joe, your face is 16 chargers. They're 50 kilowatts. Actually, there's 20 in total. 16 available, 4 unavailable as of right now. On the roof. And they are free to charge. However, you have to pay for parking. Now, it's a maximum of $6 a day. You can get validation to provide, I think it's 90 minutes free. And yeah, it's really good. And the way they did a deal with Tesla wanted to be in the city, yada yada. So Tesla for now is covering the costs of these things. There's a better picture. Huge number of chargers. And the reason why, and it's kind of funny, why you see this image here of the Teslas, in fact, a number of them, and these ones aren't charging. This is just, oh no, that one is charging. The middle one's charging. They're using CHAdeMO adapters because they get free charging, albeit at 50 kilowatts. Are they real superchargers, or were they the 72 kilowatt superchargers there? I can't remember.
The 72 urban.
Yeah, the urban ones. I'm surprised there's not a picture of them, but there you go. That's between them. Seriously, no one decided to do a picture facing the other way. There you go. You can just see them there. Yeah, the urban ones down the middle. So yeah, so you can charge for free there. And then what we were talking about, this new one is over here. So we were staying right, it's somewhere near here. The Sheraton is next to the Hilton. So we were staying here where it says Concord, Pasadena is where the Sheraton is. And yeah, it's just over there. So I don't know, Joe. I'm going to get in with not much battery, and I'll just have to, I'll resolve it. The hotel we're staying in doesn't have charging, but I know there's a few chargers around there. And I've got 1, 2.
You might be able to use the free chargers at Morengo again as well.
Well, I'm trying to think now. Would 90 minutes give me a full charge at 50 kilowatts? Might.
Yeah, because that would give you 75 kilowatts in 90 minutes.
Yeah, so we will see. I'm not going to worry about it too much. The hard thing, well, I've got to occupy the kid on Friday anyway. So I'm going to work on Friday morning from the hotel room. I'm looking after the kid, and my wife's going to an exhibition that's taking place there. So at some point I'm going to have to do something with the kid. So chances are, yeah, going for a drive is one of our favorite things to do.
Angela's Crest.
Thought had occurred, my friend. The thought had occurred, but then I'll have to charge the car up again. We've waffled for quite some time. We're way over time on this one, Joe. But what else did we have on? I know people don't realize this. There isn't a rehearsal, but we do actually make a list of things to talk about before we start. I think we've actually any content coming out from you this week, Joe?
I might put one quick video out. It might actually be like an Archimoto video or something. Not sure. But I'm going to do a bunch of filming it because I'm going to the social media day of the auto show. See who I can meet there, and most importantly, just get a bunch of time with all these new electric vehicles and start to see.
I'm sure you'll see someone we know are there. I'm 99% sure he's going to be there. So I look forward to. I envy you having this kind of time, but some of us are just too busy. I'm afraid no more content for me because I just do not have time to do any editing right now. I'm trying to get this business up and running and develop pipeline. It's the only time off I've had is to do a bit of comedy. So you'll see me tonight at the Improv, tomorrow night in Walnut Creek at where I will be. Well, don't listen if you're coming because that'll ruin the surprise. But I will be doing a lot. I'm going to do stand up. I'm going to headline. So I'm headlining, and at the end I'm going to do a live hacking demonstration. It's a comedy and talent night. My talent is hacking, so I'm going to do a live hacking demonstration. I'm actually going to get people to tell me their PIN numbers without them realizing, which is one of my party tricks. Did I ever do that one to you, Joe? When I saw you, I don't think so. So do you want to find out? All right, people, let's find out Joe's PIN number. And let me show you how it's done. Joe, quick question for you. Do you have an Android or an iPhone?
iPhone.
Okay, Joe, without giving anything away whatsoever, be very conscious of the fact that your eyes will tell me the answer. The PIN number for your bank account for your debit card, is it the same as your phone? Okay, so people, this is how it starts, okay? And then I'll say, Joe.
We won't take this any further because I don't want to have to change my
Welcome to social engineering, people. Why is he married to a former US Olympic swimmer? It's not because he's a good person. It's because he knows how to do this shit. And I will be in Danville with Kabir Singh on Thursday night. So hopefully, and then I've got lots of work to do. And then I'm seeing, scary, towards the end of next week, some clear space. So next time we speak, Joe, hopefully I'll get some clear space to do some editing of my own. By the way, if you want to edit videos for me, get in touch. I have money. I don't have time. Sounds brutally honest, if nothing else. Joe, you want to say goodbye first for once?
Well, thank you for listening. And hopefully, I like this new cadence we've been doing. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our channels on whatever your favorite podcast network is. Be sure to check it out on YouTube too, if you want to see these. We share our screens and a little more of our faces. And make sure to subscribe to regular EV Dad. And I'm Joe from JK EV. And take care until next time.
Have fun, people. Be safe.